65th, 12th, and 66th and 67th. 66th and 67th will reopen to through streets as they were before we started. Let's see, at 66th, on the south, actually on both sides, we have plazas. On the south side is a smaller plaza, more of an art plaza, kind of contemplative space. And then on the north side is a larger plaza, more open space. It's also where our bike parking is. As far as bus stops go, we've been working closely with Metro. The bus stops that are currently right here, and then the bus stops that are at the 10,000 Villages and the Rain City Burners, those 4 stops will go away, and we will consolidate stops between 12th and Roosevelt. Jason can talk a little bit more about that. As far as images go, this is the north entrance. This is as if you're looking from the east side of 12th, basically at the high school. You're looking across the street. We are putting, on the east side, we're doing a bump out so that the crossing for the pedestrians is shorter, and we will be installing a crosswalk there, which it was not there before. This is the rendering of 66. This is looking south at that smaller art contemplative plaza. What else can you see here? So here's the art, the building blocks. Dwell is the building in the background. That's the existing condo building right on the other side of our wall. This is 66. Basically, if you're standing at that corner, the southeast corner of 66th and 12th, and you're looking northwest, so you can see the larger plaza. The bike parking is back in here under this covered area. Again, you can see the art. These big dark gray things are our vent shafts. We have 4 vent shafts, 2 for the north entrance and 2 for the south entrance. And this is the south entrance. So this is basically if you're standing at Toronado looking towards us. So there's stairs up to a covered area. It's like a porch. So there's a lot of covered space. We have a ramp down. Right now our bus stop is located right here, our bus shelter is located right here. This is our vent shaft, and then this is the Dwell condo building. I think that's kind of the gist of the station. I can answer questions, or Jason has to go.
So basically when the station's done, you're going to be reconnecting 66th across Roosevelt, so it'll be a pedestrian connection going basically from Roosevelt, being able to go through the block again.
So 66 will become a through street?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
We'll open it back up.
Okay.
Is there a signal? Is there a signal there? Or? No, there's not a signal there. SDOT did not want a signal, actually.
Could you put a pedestrian button of activate to the light?
So that's up to SDOT to
utilize them.
You're not the first one that has asked about that. I didn't give an overview of the timeline. I apologize. So right now we're constructing the station, and after Jason goes, we can walk back around. We have viewing windows where you can look in. So Hoffman Construction is our station contractor. They got site access in February. They've already had multiple concrete pours. In June, I can't remember, middle of June, they'd already placed like 3.9 million pounds of rebar. They poured 9,600 they've already poured the kind of the base floor. It's 8 feet thick, and then we'll have a topping slab on top of that. The pilasters, you can see those being formed. Those are on the walls. They're 5 by 5 foot kind of pillars that go up. Station construction will be done at the end of 2019. And then we have a year of systems installation, and then we have testing, so we're on track to open in 2021. This station, as well as Northgate and U District, will all open at the same time. Other questions?
That's going to be quite a logistical thing.
For what?
To have all that mainstream on the 2 stations opening up at the same time.
Oh, the 3? Yeah, but we'll do it.
Yeah, I know. Like the other ones, they did like the airport, and then they added another stop, and then now they're doing like the Capitol Hill, and the Capitol Hill stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now here they figured out how to.
Well, U-Link was 2 stations, so U-Link will go to Capitol Hill and University of Washington at the same time. So we'll do the same. Basically, all 3, U District, Roosevelt, and Northgate, station construction is all scheduled to end again around the end of 2019. And then our systems installation, because that has to go from Northgate all the way to the University of Washington station, that will take, that all goes on simultaneously. Yes.
Is there an area where people can be dropped off, cars to come, or like a taxi, or to drop somebody off? Because that seems to be an important way of getting access, which isn't that that's the state.
Yeah, so the question is are we going to have any sort of drop-off space? And the answer is yes. So basically, on 66, we've identified short-term parking. So there's 2 short-term parking spots on both the north and south side of 66. This location was selected for a multitude of reasons, but quickly, 65th, I'll tell you why, what was eliminated and why. 65th was eliminated because that's where the buses will be. On 12th was eliminated because although people can cross the street, we didn't want people to have to cross 12th to get to the station. And 67th is the narrowest, so that left us with 66th or 67th. 67th is a very narrow street, and so 66 kind of by default became the spot. So basically people don't have to, cross the street. They would have to walk a block to get to either entrance. But yes, there will be short-term parking. Yeah, like drop off. Like it'll be, well, it's up to SPAB, but our, the thought is it'll be zone like 3-minute wait.
How much bike parking is going to be on the block?
There'll be a spot for 100 bikes.
And are they, what kind of rats are they? Are they you rats, or are they the silly code members?
So I will say it's evolving. Right? What the design currently has is a combination of a bike locker, a bike cage, bike lockers, and bike racks. I will say that Sound Transit is reevaluating the cage option, and so that could change, but there is a nice spot for bike parking, and sort of what the actual makeup of how that plays out.
Do you say nice, that means it's covered?
It is covered, yes.
And can you say why they're reevaluating the bike cage? What does that mean?
So I guess with cages that we currently have, they're not as secure as both Sound Transit and Ride
still be a cage or something that's more than a rack. I think is.
There'll be a painted area with a bunch of very colorful bikes randomly parked in that painted area. They save money on the racks, and you don't have to worry about getting your bike stolen.
There'll be a variety of ways you can.
Okay. I think my feedback is don't look at the current cages and say, okay, we're going to not do cages.
Okay, fix the
Just
cages.
do better cages if that's what's required.
Other questions?
Will there be an area for like bike share bikes? Because right now, I mean, these seem to be pretty popular. We're estimating 10,000 or so bike share bikes. I could easily see, you know, the sidewalks being completely overwhelmed here, even at 10 feet with bike share bikes. So will there be a space for that?
So the question is, will there be space for bike share? So we worked with SDOT when, so you have to remember that my design has been done for over a year. So this is when Pronto was still in play. So although this plan doesn't show it, our final plans, this is 90% and we had to redesign. But there is an area allocated for Pronto that's just to the west of our frontage, although it's in front of our TOD site. So yes, currently right now the plans do have the space for bike share. It was allocated for Pronto in 2021, whatever is existing.
We also at SDOT have mobility hub planners, and they're just getting their ball rolling. And that concept includes not just planning for bike share, but also like you go to it's like your one-stop shop for transportation options. You can get your Lime bikes, you can get your car-to-goes, your Zip cars, and it's just this idea on how to give people a place to reliably find all of their transportation options.
But I think within the last week we've all seen that whatever anyone probably thought was required for Pronto, you need like 5 or 10 times that for, you know, what we already have now, never mind 2 more.
Yeah, so she asked about the TOD site. So we actually have potentially 3 TOD sites. So the largest one and the one that the RFP, the request for proposal that just went out last week, I guess, is this site. So it's bounded by 66th on the south, 67th on the north, Roosevelt on the west, and then the station on the east. So that's our largest site. Is what? Is there something on it?
Yeah.
Right now it's construction staging is what's on it. So the idea is that as soon as Hoffman is done in late 2019, we would ideally have the developer under contract. They would basically already have their permits in hand, and they could start construction on that TOD project in 2020 with the idea that that project would open when the station opened or thereabouts. So that is the goal, and like I said, we just did get the RFP out last week. We have another site which is north of 67th, on the corner of 67th and 12th. It's a much smaller site than the large one. That one won't be available until 2021, but the construction impact will be much smaller, but we would do the same process of releasing an RFP and selecting a developer. Our last TOD site is this little one. It's bound by 66th on the north, our station, 66th on the north, Dwell on the south and west, and then our station on the east. It's a very small site. It can accommodate housing, but it's very small. So we're still evaluating whether or not we would actually dispose of that site. So the question is, will the big TOD site have affordable housing? We went, yes, we went through a whole community engagement process, of which Scott was part of it, and the Roosevelt Neighborhood Association was an active member in that, and they set out basically priorities that they'd like to see in that, and so that has been incorporated into the RFP. You had a question?
So those TOD sites are owned by Sound Transit?
Yes, the question is, are the TOD sites owned by Sound Transit? The answer is yes, because right now it's where our construction staging is. So basically when we're done with construction, there's land that won't have a station on it, but we needed to construct the station, and so we will dispose of those properties.
Before we go on, I know it's already 7:20, so I want to be fair to
Yes.
Jason. So let him talk about some of the SPAB projects that are coming in to help connect to the station. So just let
Sure.
Jason
How much
talk.
time?
Probably 5 to 10.
Okay. I'm Jason Fielkoff. I'm in the project development division at SDOT. Until recently, I was Howard's bookend, but I quit on the crutches a little bit early. I am the current PM for the Northeast 65th Street Vision Zero project. Over the past couple of years, we've had a series of serious injury and fatal collisions in the corridor, all to vulnerable users, people riding bikes, people walking. A couple were right around here on the corner on the intersection of Roosevelt. The most recent fatal collision was down at 20th in February. So we came out, there's a serious injury collision.
Yeah.
Fatal.
There was one in June, 2 months ago, at 19th.
That was a serious injury though,
Serious injury,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So there's a problem out here. So I think a lot of people here have been involved in the project. I came to the PED board in March, I think, to talk about the average we had done, some of the short-term improvements we had completed, and to let you know that we were coming up with a longer-term vision that we're hoping to implement next year. We released our recommended concepts last week of essentially rechannelizing the roadway to have one travel lane in either direction with a center turn lane from Ravenna to 20th, and also with the implementation of protected bike lanes and a consolidation of the transit stops and a better interaction between the bike facilities and the transit stops. The facility continues as a greenway all the way down to 39th on 68th Street, where we include improved arterial crossings at 20th and 25th. So if you've been out here over the past 6 months, you've probably seen some of the short-term improvements. The speed limit on 65th in the urban village has been reduced. We've made ITS improvements so that the signals are easier to identify. The crosswalks have been repainted. We did a tactical improvement here on the corner of Roosevelt designed to make motor vehicles turning over the crosswalk more predictable and slower. We feel that that's been successful so far, although lots of vehicles are hitting those yeah. I've been watching it happen too, so we are aware. But it's something we're hoping to fix next year with a more permanent solution. So we're at about finishing up preliminary engineering and moving into like full-on design using the rest of the year. We're working pretty closely with Sound Transit and Metro so that we have as best a solution as we can, particularly for this block between Roosevelt and 12th, where a lot is happening and we expect even more to be happening. So that's the 65th Street project. And then I'm not the lead for the 70th NSF project, but I can try to speak to it. Maybe Scott can fill in. The neighborhood received a grant to improve the crossing over I-5 on Northeast 70th Street here to add improved pedestrian facilities, improved bicycle facilities. We went and extended that project from just over the highway to 12th so that it's a more complete connection. It's a protected bike lane in one direction from the bridge to Roosevelt and a regular bike lane in the opposite direction. You want to add to that?
Yeah, it's always stop right at the intersection, right at the on-ramp at 70th and 8th. And yeah, curb bolts I think are on the docket, and painted sidewalk on the north side of the underpass.
So it's a community-driven project that we've been able to extend a little bit more.
Just an offbeat question. Have you considered incorporating some of the schools so that they can start being engaged at some point?
Have we been working with Roosevelt High School?
Well, just all the schools or something to kind of, bring younger people into the engagement process of what's going on.
Yeah, we do have a group that works with our schools about not specifically these projects, but transportation safety in general. And out here, I know that our Safe Routes to School program is improving one of the crosswalks on 15th. I believe it's at 68 and 15th. But I can't answer that question. I don't get they keep me informed.
Safe route to school answer that.
So I know 15th I think is getting repaved here pretty soon, and 12th to be paved sometime. What's the schedule for those, and what's the safety improvements that are tied to those?
Sure. I'm not on those projects, so I only know from what I've seen at the public meetings we posted. You want to answer that, Dave?
I think 15th was bumped to 2019, I believe, for repaving, and I forget when this one's slated.
So that one's been bumped to 2019. It includes bicycle facilities, and this is part of, I think we're trying to coordinate it with the Roosevelt Rapid Ride, and that currently includes, so that's a very extensive corridor. I know that up here it includes protected bike lanes, transit stop improvements.
So, between this station and the university one, we kind of have the Ave, which is going to be a lot of people coming from both those stations. And I just saw the plans for the repaving from 50th North, and they have nothing. Like, they're not changing anything. They're not putting in protected bike lanes. They are leaving the angled parking. It's like a...
412?
No, for the Ave. University Way, from 50th up to Ravenna, I guess.
Beyond Ravenna, it goes all the way to 15.
I can't speak explicitly to all of our projects.
Unfortunately,
I'm here to...
So the original plan was to put perpendicular parking, and they had continued outreach, and I believe the feedback they got from the people along that section, and I'm not sure what those comments were, but then it went back to the diagonal.
So my feedback is that I don't care who's along that section, they don't get to veto safety for people, themselves included. Like, I understand that anytime you say you're taking away one spot, you're going to get like people yelling at you, but I mean, that's just indefensible, right? Like angled parking. So you're going to keep the angled parking.
I haven't seen the revised design.
All right.
I know that there's a public process that goes on.
I went to the public process, and more than half the feedback was protected bike lanes.
It's not Dave's project.
I know.
Same thing happened with Roosevelt. Roosevelt started as a repaving project.
Yeah.
People came out 30% design. It changed a little bit. People came out 60% design. It changed a lot. 90% design. It got done. Same thing with this repaving project. It came out. It went perpendicular. They received a certain amount of comments. They revised it. Not sure what those comments were. Some might have been from Metro, some might have been from the businesses. Not sure. There might have been other issues, unless Andres knows different. Yeah. So all I'm saying is, if you don't like a design, keep commenting.
All right.
To this point, just keep commenting. I'm on the Northeast District Council, and how many times people stand up when a project's done and saying,
the thing is, we've all been there, and the public comments are like, really, they're overwhelmingly saying, protected bike lane.
And
Okay.
that's fine. Then you can ask to say, we'd like to see
Yeah.
the comments and the number of comments.
But I just want to add to that, and
Yeah.
that is, my son goes to school right in that section.
Yep.
And the school right now all says we don't want the parking to change because no one is doing outreach to them to say what the benefits are, except, I mean, I'm there and I'm, I can't say I'm not a voice, but
Yeah.
I gotta say we've gotta have some leadership from SDOT to give why these changes really do make sense. And I don't feel like they're getting that leadership in that section or beyond. And so,
Yep.
that's part of why people aren't, the voice isn't there because they're not getting anything to help them understand how to do it.
So, I had a
So let's
question.
focus.
I had a question on
Yeah.
65th. So I love the bike improvements that are happening at 65th. But at the same time, I've also seen that the plan is to potentially narrow the sidewalk by removing the parking strip to make space for the transit stops. And also, you go over to like 18th and try to cross the street. It's really hard to cross, and that's right now with just one lane in each direction outside of rush hours. There's going to be 3 lanes, the center turn lane in the new design. So can you talk a bit about like any pedestrian improvements that you're making as part of this project? Will there be pedestrian crossing islands or anything like that?
Sure. At the I think it's 15th and 20th and 25th where the intersections skip the pedestrian cycle. There's the big button, making sure that the crossing comes up every time in the cycle. We looked into adding a mid-block crossing, particularly at like the blocks at 17th or 18th, and we didn't have the justification to include it in the project. There wasn't the data to support including it, and there weren't any plans or programs recommending its inclusion, so it wasn't something that we implemented.
Okay. So the bag buttons are the only pedestrian improvements then? Bag button changes.
At 15th and 20th, yeah, between 15th and 20th, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
On 60.
Yeah.
It's 7:30 now, and I know we've got one more stop, so I know some people had interest of looking at maybe the view portal, so maybe we could do that. Yeah. So if that's okay, maybe we can do that.